but man, it's so like normalized and popular, and like maybe it's bad for society to bet this often.
Yeah, I mean, usually you see, I mean, what happens in the decline of a society, Kyle? Things like prostitution and gambling run rampant. And that's kind of what we see a little bit right now, is that the economy is structured as such that people are forced to rely on these externalities in order to make ends meet.
The oldest human
having a bunch of women. No, I think it's not a new occurrence, but it is a cyclical occurrence, like towards the end.
I disagree. Do you think that Rome only introduced prostitution in the last 150 years, or did they have prostitution their entire existence?
Not their entire existence.
Of course they did. Of course there were prostitutes throughout, from the beginning to the end of Rome. They call it the oldest profession for a reason.
I thought the kingdom didn't have
monkeys
it, but I
will resort to prostitution when given the right reward system. Like, it's just something that we.
But is that good? Is that?
I don't think it's bad. I think it's human nature. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think prostitution should be 100% legal, just like it is in the outside of the city limits in Nevada or whatever. Then you get regulation, you get the pimps out, you get organized crime out, you get drugs, manipulation, rape out of the game. You get underage workers out of the game. You get STDs out of it. You just bring it into the light, make it a thing. You end up having these. You stop having these marginalized people who only have that choice, and they have to fall into other illegal things that surround an inherently illegal business, which is prostitution. Currently, you could separate a legal business of prostitution from all the drugs and all the other stuff that currently orbited.
Really?
Like, if you legalize it, just like in Germany, and plenty of countries throughout the world, Amsterdam, like lots of places throughout the world, Australia. These are first world economies and cultured places that have legalized prostitution, where they regulate and they keep people safe.
Is it widely available though? Like, if you told me America had legalized prostitution, you'd be telling the truth. But in reality, it's what, like the
escort
Bunny Ranch
services
in Vegas or something like that.
Or like,
right now, you
like OnlyFans girls.
You can have, no, there's escort services in your area right now. You can call and have a girl come to your house right now.
Where are these services?
Google.
I'm aware there's older women who want to bang, but I have to have sex with them. I see the ad.
See, and that's the problem, is I have to be willing to fuck old, ugly women.
No, but Kyle, I think the thing you're talking about isn't legal. I'm talking about
a loophole.
Like legal prostitution, which exists in Nevada and nowhere else, I think.
I think so too.
So when we say it's legal in Australia and Germany, are they comparable?
No, it's legal there. No, there are brothels throughout the land there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying not in one small little area. There are huge brothels where each floor is a different like fetish and a different thing you're looking for. Yes. Like these are clean places where people are getting tested and using protection, and it's common.
I'll be like, this sucks. I want to be called daddy and I like feet. Is there not a floor where we can combine it?
Oh, 6.5 it is. They have the feet girls dangle from above.
Genius.
I don't know.
So Kyle said prostitution is the oldest profession. We've all heard that before. The contrarian asshole in me is like, there's got to be an older one. So
yeah, I mean, there's obviously older ones. Hunter, gatherer,
forager. Forager was on my mind.
Those aren't professions.
Okay.
They didn't hunt and gather and then sell those goods for currency or trade those goods. They were subsistence
hunters. 100%.
The first hunters were subsistence hunters. They were not gathering up their deer and looking around for another.
Now you're adding a qualifying layer though. Subsistence hunters.
They were eating what
there
they
were many
killed.
hunters
That's
who were
not
not subsistence.
That's not a profession. No, there weren't. The first hunters, though. The first cave people,
Kyle's
there was a woman.
If it's a profession, you sell your either a product or a service.
Yes.
That it can't be a profession where you just go out and gather berries for yourself.
So there has to be an aspect of commerce in it.
Okay, better. Yeah, well stated.
All right.
Of exchange. There's an aspect,
and that might be true of the foragers. Like I can imagine
the first ones though.
Hear me out. You have women gathering like nuts and fruits and stuff like that. men gathering meats, and then they're bartering.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
why would a man
be...
barter with a woman? Why wouldn't he say, "You bring me all the berries you can find, or I'm going to rape your daughter tonight"? That's what caveman says.
Because he's part of a community. That's retarded.
See, now we've moved into civilization. If we've got
no. There were many communities that existed prior to. No. You don't think there were communities amongst prehistoric?
I think that there were
they only survived because of communities.
Monkeys and
humans are horrible.
Resort to prostitution when given the right the right system. I'm talking about the first profession, the first time a good or service was exchanged for a food or another good or service, essentially, and that would have been prostitution. Because she was born with what she sells, he has to go get it. All right. How could he ever beat her to the punch?
How about this, Kyle?
When she is the good in service by her very nature,
Jack?
He has to do a thing. He needs an extra step to get to goods and services. She is the good in service.
Kyle, what did the first John trade for his prostitute?
Protection.
You think protection?
Fire. Protection.
You think a community created like an
existing... Not a community. One man grabbed one woman. I protect you.
Out of where? Out of the wilderness?
Probably from his own family circle, from the cave system they were living in.
There weren't Kyle's argument,
there's dozens
protection and prostitution, first profession, it's a tie.
So you don't think there was a possibility that a John was trading meat, furs, berries, what have you?
Why would he? Because he doesn't need to do business with a weak woman.
Yes, he does. Because humans have always existed in communities. Always.
No, they haven't.
We do not survive outside of communities. We don't.
We're talking about the first. We're not talking about Mesopotamia. We're not talking about.
No, we're talking way pre-Mesopotamia.
Yeah, we're talking about 100,000 years ago when the first cave woman sold her hairy pussy for some nuts.
No, but meat. Like the idea that it was a random caveman wandering around finding a woman is like a fucking Netflix fantasy. Like that's not how shit worked. Like you were in a community and you would exist within that community.
You'd have been in a family group of maybe a dozen individuals. You know what I mean? Like it was. If we're talking about the first people, the first 100,000 people, those guys throwing spears and living in fear, who hadn't figured out fire yet.
You think they traded threats?
I don't think they traded threats. I think that at that point,
that's what it is.
I don't know what you mean by.
It kind of sounds like she's being raped in this situation.
That's what it would be. Yes,
and
if
I don't
you're
think
trading,
that's profession yet. Yeah,
I will rape you if you don't do this for me. Is transactional in its nature, but it's also not commerce. They would be trading real things, and we know this because we can look at throughout all of history. And what do they trade for? Rights to a woman. They trade goods. They trade services. They trade.
Now you go into the medieval times and stuff when we're buying.
No, it's actually still very ancient.
I think you're being ridiculous on this. Clearly, prostitution is the first profession.
Really? So it's in good faith. It's not super clear to me. It's one of the starters, right? I'm with you, right? And I didn't find a lot of value in she was born with it, like argument. Like I don't think that means that it was first.
It's incredibly strong.
But one of the early ones I came to was like blacksmith.
Like
okay, blacksmith way too late. Stonesmith, woodsmith, like someone who sharpens spears and hands them out.
There was a division of labor.
Yes, there was. There
wasn't. That is one of the first. That is a step into civilization when you have division of labor. For division of labor, you have to have a surplus of goods. That doesn't happen in the early.
The first step of civilization is amalgamation around a corporation.
There is division of labor amongst lions, right? And people transform from monkey to people, assuming that happened. Let's be conclusive. People transform from monkeys to humans. Probably, we were still monkeys when we were dividing labor. Some were hunters, some were collectors, etc. So I don't think that's a late.
No,
Woody is hitting the nail on the head. I'm talking about where you have fishermen and you have weavers and you have people who harvest and harvest grain. That's civilization. That doesn't happen until much later on.
What was the first segmentation of labor?
Well,
Food gathering.
The first segmentation of labor is that the first segmentation of labor is that the men are the protectors and the hunters and the warriors, and the women are the nurturers and the berry gatherers.
And that creates a natural currency: furs, meat. Food, things that can be traded.
So what? Your wife in this caveman society is going to do business with me for the berries she sold, and I, a different man who lives on the other end of the cave, is going to transact with her?
How about this? We can change that, and let's assume that the head of the household, the man, was the one transacting. I would be transacting with you for the berries she collected.
There would be we would be living hand to mouth. We would just be sharing whatever we'd found that day. We'd be hungry most of the time.
No. I can totally imagine a scenario where your family has meat, my family has a surplus of walnuts, and we want to equalize those two.
Everything would go in we're talking about the very beginning. Everything is just going on the floor in a pile, and we're all.
Why? What makes you say that?
Anthropological evidence.
He's trying to guide you into saying there's a civilization.
There's anthropological evidence that they threw everything they collected into a big pot, and they all pulled from it what they needed.
They can see how they butchered things and ate things and prepared things. They can look at the feces of every member of the group and see that they were all eating the same
thing. But how does that tell us how transactional occurrences happen?
It's human nature that what I'm saying.
Human nature is trading your goods for another's.
You don't have any goods. You don't have any.
You have berries and meat and furs.
No, because there's no mercantile fucking society.
Why not? All it takes for a mercantile society is two people to trade.
Because you don't know how to weave yet. You don't know how to weave yet.
Okay, so I'll trade you on weave, but hold on.
Now it's a technological.
Monkeys make spears and sticks, right? Monkeys will put a stick into an anthill and come out with ants, right? They make tools.
Okay, kind of. Yeah.
So
yeah.
So from that, I suggest that humans were building tools as they were barely even humans, right? More advanced than current monkeys. So here we have like some sort of skilled labor as people are barely even humans.
We're selling pussy even before that, though.
Oh, so I was drawing the starting line at being human. But you're drawing the starting line at sort of being alive.
I think,
and in that regard, we could look at like.
Well, I mean, there was like four other human. There were 4 or 5
about safety? Is safety probably an earlier trade, where you trade your goods for the safety from the larger tribe?
I think that's just natural biology that the male or that the group protects itself. Like I don't think elephants are engaging in trade when they encircle the newborn child to protect it.